No one knew how a homeless 10 years old orphan built a mansion overnight in his father's dilapidated home. Amaku village woke up one morning to a surprises. A homeless 10 years old orphan had built a massive, gigantic edifice with every treasure inside overnight in his father's dilapidated compound. These became a daylight magic and wonders to all. In this story, find out how the poor homeless orphan and beggar built a mansion overnight. Welcome to Ideka African Folktales. Please don't go without giving us your like and the comments. We value it. Long ago in Amaku village, there lived a poor orphan boy named Izu. His father had died mysteriously and his mother passed away soon after leaving him in the care of his stepmother Adako. But Adako was a cruel woman. She never treated Izu like her own child. Instead, she made him do all the housework, gave him only leftover food, and punished him over little things. One cold night, Izu was very thirsty. He tiptoed into the kitchen and took some water from Adako's pot. Unfortunately, his trembling hands knocked over the pot, spilling some water on the floor. When Adako discovered this, she flew into a rage. "You useless boy, you will suffer for this," she screamed. Ignoring his plea for mercy, she grabbed a clay pot, shoved it into his hands, and pushed him out of the house. "Go to Yen River and fetch me water now," she commanded. Izu's heart nearly stopped beating. Yen River was no ordinary river. It was an evil river, home to spirits, demons, and unseen forces. No one dared go there at midnight. It was a bushy and dreadful path, yet she sent him out that night to the Yen River. "Mama, please, it is too dangerous. I will go at dawn," Izu begged. But Adako responded by beating him mercilessly, bruising his body. With no choice, Izu set out into the night. The path to Yen River was dark, bushy, and filled with strange noises. Owls hooted, bats flapped their wings, and unknown creatures whispered in the wind. As Izu walked, he sensed something following him. He could feel eyes watching from the darkness, but he saw no one. His heartbeat pounded like a talking drum. Out of fear, he began to sing, pleading with the spirit. "Oh, spirit of the night, have mercy on me. I am just an orphan. I mean no harm. My wicked stepmother sent me on this deadly journey. Oh, spirit of the night, have mercy on me. I am just an orphan. I mean no harm. My wicked stepmother sent me on this deadly journey." The leaves rustled, the whispers grew louder, but no harm came to him. Soon he approached a strange sight. A very old woman with a thin mosquito-like neck carrying a heavy bundle of firewood. Her big head wobbled dangerously, like it might fall off. She struggled under the weight, groaning. "Ah, Mama, let me help you," Izu said without hesitation. The old woman sighed. "The burden of the spirit is not for human, my son," she said. But Izu insisted. He lifted the firewood onto his own head and followed her into the deep forest. They walked down the river and got to a tiny bush path beside the evil Iyen River. The old spirit branched and the orphan followed her, his heart racing. There were all manner of noises and chantings. All he could not comprehend any of the discussions. They were the talks of the spirits. They arrived at a small hut covered in cobwebs. There in the bush were other huts too, but they were surrounded by cobwebs. The woman signaled Izu to go to the back of the house. There she told him to drop the firewood on the ground. She asked the orphan to wait, that the journey to the Iyen River is dangerous at that time of the night. She said she was going in to call his son, who will escort him to the river, and gave him all the necessary assistance. "Oh, wait here," she said. "You cannot go to Iyen River alone. I will call my son to escort you." When the escort her son appeared, Izu gasped. The orphan was more surprised. It was the escort who needed help, not him. He was rolling on the ground with his head. He had only head, no limb, no legs, no hands. The son was just a rolling head, no arms, no legs, just a large head moving on the ground. Izu's stomach turned, but he did not scream. The old woman smiled. I know you are shocked, but do not fear. My son is the king of the spirits. He will help you. I know what it is in your mind, but don't worry. He's the king of the bush. He will give you every necessary assistance. Just do as he says." The rolling head led Izu to the river. At the river edge, the head plunged into the river and reappeared with full pot of water. But when he was handing it to Izu, he gave him yet another clay pot. The clay pot was old and looked cracked all sides. He told him to break the pot once he got to his father's hut. "Break this pot when you get home," the spirit instructed. Izu thanked him and hurried back. When he returned, his wicked stepmother heard his footsteps and ran out. She was surprised how he was able to survive the evil river and fetched from it. She rushed out and grabbed a pot of water from him and drank from it directly from the clay pot to ascertain the water tasted exactly like Iyen River. She drank the water greedily to confirm it was from Iyen, or did he go to their neighbor to get water from them? "How did you survive?" she asked, shocked. While she drank the water at the entrance, Izu, meanwhile, quietly entered his father's abandoned and dilapidated hut with the other old clay pot and broke it as he was instructed. At once, the thunder roared, the ground shook, and a gigantic golden mansion rose from the earth. A great mansion grew in the compound with every human needed to survive. With everything human needed to survive, including male and female servants. Inside, there were treasures, food, servants, and everything a human could desire. Izu, once a homeless orphan, had become the richest person in Amako village overnight. The stepmother's eyes bulged out. She made to rush into the house to drag the boy out from it so she and her family could claim and occupy it. Even if it warranted her killing Izu that night, she would. But she was prevented. There were guards all over the house. She was bundled and threw out. Adaku's eyes nearly popped out. Greed took over her heart. She decided that her own son, Ike, must also go to Iyenu River and get a treasure pot. In her greed, she spilled the water from the clay and sent her only son to go fetch water from the Iyenu River that night again. She also hinted him on what to expect. It was what she had from the orphan. That night, she burned down their old house and sent Ike to the river, telling him exactly what Izu had done. But Ike was nothing like Izu. The boy went to the Iyen River as he was instructed by his mother. The greedy woman brought out all his children outside and set their building ablaze. She told them new and better one will spring out once Ike her son returns from the Iyen River. At the Iyen River, Ike met the same scene Izu had met. But when he met the old woman, he mocked her. Instead of lending helping hand to the helpless, tiny neck old spirit, he laughed. Ike laughed until he peeled on his trouser. He laughed until he fell on the ground. Look at you, a woman with a mosquito net. Ha 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 ha. He he. What a bean with a dancing neck. Mosquito neck on human body. Ike mocked. When the old woman lifted the firewood to her head, Ike laughed the more. The way the firewood danced and wobbled on her head amused him the more. It was like a cinema for Ike, and he followed her to her house to see more. On getting to her house, Ike saw another wonder. A being with only head rolled out with a clay pot going to fetch water from Iyenu River. Ike laughed the more. The woman, out of mercy, told Ike to follow her son, that he would help him fetch from the river, that it was dangerous for him to enter the river that time of the night. When her son, the rolling head, appeared, Ike laughed harder. What a joke! A head with nobody, how can you help me? What a son! Ike laughed the more as they trekked down to the river hill. On getting to Iyenu River, Ike began to sing as the orphan sang, and lied that he was driven out in the night by her stepmother to fetch from the river. Still, out of kindness, the spirit allowed him to fetch water. When Izu finished fetching, he refused to go. He was expecting a pot, as was given to Izu. When he did not see any, he began to ask and demand for his own pot. Why are you not giving me my own pot, you wicked being? Give me my own pot. And when he had stayed longer, a mosquito-neck old spirit, the same woman he had seen while coming, walked into the river, and at once two pots floated towards Ike. One was old and cracked, the other was golden and beautifully decorated. You must choose one, a voice from the river ordered Ike. Ike greedily grabbed the golden pot, thinking it held the greatest treasure. He raced home laughing in excitement without saying thank you. When he got home, his mother was waiting for him on the road at the entrance of their home with his other siblings. She asked Ike to throw the water pot away, that it is useless, and they all ran in with the golden pot. It was exactly 2 a.m. Ike and his mother gathered their family around and broke the golden pot. What happened next was horrifying. Immediately the thunder roared, ground shook, but instead of mansion erupting from the ground, from the broken pot, 7 giant pythons sprang out, hissing and coiling around them. The giant python looked hungry and starved. The 7 pythons sprang from the ground and swallowed them all. No trace of them was seen. They were not given time to scream. By morning, there was no trace of them. They had vanished. The lessons of the story: kindness is rewarded, but greed is punished. Humility brings blessings, but mockery leads to destruction. The third lesson: do good even when no one is watching you. The last lesson: too much greed can swallow a person whole, just like the pythons did. The end. Please remember to subscribe and to like our stories. God bless you.